some phenomenal learnings and interactive conversations. And now we're going to transition to our final keynote speaker of She Leads, and to introduce her as one of our extraordinary LiveGirl and She Works alumni, Molly Rocklin, who is a senior at Villanova University. So take it away, Molly.
Hello, everyone. My name is Molly Rocklin. I'm a senior at Villanova University, majoring in mathematics with a minor in peace and justice. I'm also a proud LiveGirl. I am thrilled to introduce the amazing Tracy Chadwell, founding partner of 1843 Capital, an early-stage venture capital firm committed to gender equity. Tracy is a true pioneer for women. This summer, I was given the wonderful opportunity through the LiveGirl She Works internship program to intern for Tracy and the 1843 team. Tracy has been a personal role model for me, always taking the time out of her very busy day to share encouraging advice. She has dedicated her profession to helping other women advance their own companies and passions. Tracy has been named one of Entrepreneur Magazine's 100 Powerful Women and received the Women's Business Advocate Award for Motley Media. She has also given testimony in front of the U.S. Senate Committee and speaks brilliantly for audiences, such as the Nantucket Project, MIT, and TEDx NYIT. And now we are thrilled to have Tracy join us as our closing featured speaker. Welcome, Tracy.
Thank you, Molly. Can you guys hear me? Is everything okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for having me. This is incredibly special and really the most favorite thing that I do all day. I do have a day job, but being here and speaking before you guys is really such a treat, and I really love it. So thank you so much for having me. And I know you guys are on screens all day, and I know that this is, you know, it's not the best format, but hopefully we can make this kind of fun and enjoyable. And if you just learn one or two things, I'll be really, really happy. So thank you so much. So I was going to give a speech today on the 3 biggest mistakes that you are absolutely going to make. But I was in the shower and I thought of a 4th. So I hope you don't mind if I quickly just tell you what the 4th mistake is. So the 4th mistake is in not investing early enough. So one of the ways that I was able to do everything that I do is by having investment income and by having my money work for me. So and what you guys can do if you're taking notes, you don't have to take notes, but if you are taking notes, maybe just take the note of what the mistake is and what you can do about it, and that's it. If you just take away one thing from each mistake, you'll be golden. So if you are thinking about getting a job, or you have had a job and you have a little extra money, I would definitely put it aside. I don't know as much about like the digital banks like Wealthfront or Acorns or Robinhood, but I do know that like Schwab is very good and has been along for a long time. So if you're under 21, ask your parent or guardian to set up an account for you. Even if you just have some babysitting money, you can get started with $50. Because I made a mistake and I waited until I was about 30 until I started seriously investing. And when I realized the power of my money working for me and giving me the floor to fulfill my purpose, I think it's incredibly important. Okay, so now let's go on to what I really also wanted to talk about was the 3 other mistakes that you're definitely going to make. So we all make mistakes. I make them every single day, but I thought that I might just highlight the 3 really big ones that you're definitely going to make. And so it's not completely depressing. I thought we'd talk about some of the ways to get around them. So the first one, and you guys, this is really big, is letting fear win. What made all the difference for me was not listening to conventional advice and not embracing fear. This is so big. Fear is a bad boyfriend. You need to kick him to the curb. Fear is going to cost you money. It's going to cost you opportunities, and it's going to cost you joy. Everybody is going to have fear, but it's how you choose to deal with it. And so you're thinking, okay, Tracy, that's really great. Thanks for telling me not to be afraid. But, what do I do about that? Like taking an aspirin for a headache. I don't want to just mask the symptoms for you and say, just don't be afraid. I want you to find the root. I want you to find out what is causing it, because getting rid of fear, it sounds so simple, but it's really hard to deal with. I know you guys have a lot of people saying, be bold, be courageous, but that's pretty useful. You're pretty useless if you're really all afraid all the time. That's just the aspirin. I know that a lot of you might not be comfortable with risk, but you know, I'm not telling you to quit school and pursue your boldest dreams. I'm not asking you to take risks without right tools and right timing. I'm asking you to not have assumptions about what other people are thinking and realize that approaching people to help you, voicing your big ideas and thinking creatively just don't cost you a dime. I'm also telling you, I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to myself. Yesterday, I tried to think about the number of times I get afraid in a day, and it's about 14. I started my day afraid I was going to gain weight because I had a full fat latte. Then I moved on to being afraid that I was going to be late. I had a call scheduled with another VC, and I started to worry that she wouldn't think the deal that I was sharing with her was going to be interesting. And then I started to think that she wouldn't think I was smart. And I had a fear that you guys wouldn't like the remarks that I wrote for today. And then I thought maybe you wouldn't find them valuable. And then I worried about what dress I was going to wear to dinner. Is it casual? Is it elegant enough? Is it not attractive? Will I look nice, but not too much? Stop, stop, stop. If I let each and every one of these little seedlings of fear take hold, I would be at home shaking in the corner. I have fear all the time, but what I don't do is I don't embrace it anymore, and I don't let it win. And here's a couple of the ways I do it. I think having tools in your toolkit makes all the difference in the world. So, number one, assumptions. Oh my gosh, this is such a killer. And you know, a lot of times we assume we're not good enough, or that what we're doing isn't ready, or giving 2 seconds of thought to what you're wearing, you know, that's crazy. Somebody told me the other day that the definition of turning 50 is before you thought everybody hated you, and after you turn 50, you realize nobody cares about you. So I'm not saying don't prepare. I'm not saying don't have good products. I want you to do your research, and I definitely want you to wear clothes. What I don't want you to do is assume that people are thinking about it at all. So the second thing is handling rejection. This is really where fear really wins. It's the big one. Sometimes we'd rather hold on to fear than get a new client. And I still talk to myself and still tell myself to this today. I'm like, Tracy, would you rather have this and be in your fear, or would you rather go out and get what you really want? And why? Because rejection really sucks. And it always will. When someone turns me down, I can be mad from anywhere from about 20 minutes to 2 days. But here are a couple things you can think about to take the sting out. So the first thing that I've known for years and years is everybody gets no's. And every single no you get gets you closer to yes. So after I've had a no on something that I asked for, I say, okay, thanks, I'm closer to my yes. The thing that I really had to realize, though, over the years, which is new for me, is that you should change your definition of a win. So when you're doing something, when you're using your guts to go out and ask for something, if you don't get that thing that you're asking for, whether it's the job or the raise or a boyfriend or something, don't think that just because you didn't get what you defined for yourself as a win, that you didn't win. Because every time you connect with someone, you're having an experience, and they might give you advice, or they might send you in a different direction, or they might teach you something. So every interaction with somebody is going to be a win, not just how you narrowly defined it at that moment. So if I get a little bit of nugget of wisdom from somebody, I feel like I've won, and that keeps me going. So, you know, the last piece of it is faith. You have to have some belief and know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And if you hear a no, or you get brushed off, maybe you're headed in the wrong direction. You know, God or the universe is telling you this is not the way you're supposed to go. So the second big mistake, okay, big mistake number 2, guys, is it's not being you. And this is really important. And this took me a really long time to learn. You know, I can sing, but I can't sing like Beyonce. You know, I mean, this is not working. So I can paint, but I cannot paint like Frida Kahlo. I'm a lawyer, but I am no Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I am Tracy Chadwell. I have great business sense. I am a great investor, and I am a warrior for women. I am me, and I have a purpose. I've tried to emulate people who are successful for a really long time. I practiced law, I tried painting, I tried singing, not because it was me, but because I wanted to be successful. And it wasn't until I learned to listen to myself that I really found out why I was here and what my purpose is. When you are young, you're kind of good at this, like little kids. They run around and they're just exactly them. And when you're old and you get kind of crabby, you're definitely yourself again. You know, it's in the middle where we compromise and we try to fit in. And I will tell you this, you cannot be strong if you are made of little pieces of others. Find the single, solid piece of you that is your magic, that you alone possess. One of the kind of cute, funny ways that I think you can start to figure out what this is your name. I went and looked up what my name was, and I am really happy to tell you that the word Tracy means brave and means warrior. You know, every once in a while I think about this, and you know, Sherry West was so great to have me do this, and I'm so grateful. And I looked up, Sherry, I looked up what your name meant, and Sherry means darling, like mon chéri. And I was thinking, you know, one of your real brilliance is your magic, that you use your brilliant intellect and charm not to intimidate people, which a lot of people do, but to move mountains for young women. So, you know, the other thing I like to look to is to be really in tune with what is moving you. So if something really upsets you or something makes you cry, you should really tune into that and think about it. One of the reasons that I decided to go and raise my venture capital fund is that I watched a Dove commercial. And I don't know if any of you guys have all seen this. It's the Dove commercial that says, like a girl. And it asks all these little girls what it's like to run like a girl. And they run like this, and they're really strong. And then they start to get to about 13 or 14, and they ask them what it's like to run like a girl. And they start to do stuff like this. That is so sad, and it's learned behavior. And I really wanted to get behind changing that. And I knew that one of the reasons that, or one of the skills that I had was supporting women. And I knew the skill I had was through finance. And so I know if I could put more women CEOs and more women board members in this world, then we would have role models for the young women and change what they think about what it means to be a girl. So the very best way, though, to find out who you are is to find quiet, is to go outside, try parks. They're so great. But I know a lot of you have really stressful lives and you don't even feel like you have a minute. But let me say this. Find 1 minute or two. Download a Calm app or a guided meditation on YouTube. Even when you get home, when you're in the car and you turn off that engine, if you can just close your eyes and find quiet for 1 or 2 minutes. I remember reading someplace that said, if you don't have 1 or 2 minutes for yourself, you've got much, much bigger problems. I know all of you have 1 or 2 minutes, and I want you to get quiet, and I want you to listen, because you are inside you, and you have something to say. The last mistake is that thinking mistakes are bad. And I do this all the time. You know, my guess is that you guys are all really hard workers. And like me, you get really, really frustrated when you make a mistake. But nobody ever learned from mistakes. You know, I face this in my fund when I have a portfolio company that's going a little sideways. And I think, did I make a mistake investing in this company? But then I say, you know what? There's something I can learn from this. And you need to understand that mistakes are gifts. I've made so many mistakes and continue every day. The difference is that now I get mad for a couple of minutes, and then I start to walk it back and say, what is the message? What is the teaching in this? And how lucky I am to go through this, because it's helping me get to the next level by messing up. So try to give yourself the same forgiveness, the forgiveness that you give others, and try to find the lesson in every mistake. So guys, I hope some of this has resonated with you. And now you're going to try to approach every morning without fear, without assumptions, and filled with the hope and knowledge that you are perfect. And you are exactly where you are supposed to be. I wish you all gratitude and forgiveness when you make a mistake, and the space to listen to you. Thanks so much.
Tracy, that was incredible, and I'm so moved right now. Thank you for sharing those mistakes that we'll all definitely make, because it gives us suddenly license to, like, a relief to know that we're going to make those mistakes. So just get on with it. Also, thank you for looking at my name and for about saying that I'm a darling to move mountains for young women. And the iconic line that I wrote down is that you are truly a warrior for women. Thank you so much for all that you do to champion girls and women. We're going to give the ladies, we have a few minutes left. If you can take a few questions, would that be okay?
Oh my gosh, of course, I would love it. This is the best part.
Awesome. So ladies, we just need you to use your raise your hand feature, and I will call on you. And our first question comes from Tiara Starks, who is a college junior at the University of New Haven.
Hi, thank you so much. That was incredible. Like,
hi, Tiara. Nice to
hi,
meet you.
how are you? That was really incredible, like listening to you, and just, I love how you were so transparent. I think that's something that I think is really hard for a lot of us to kind of understand, is that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to know that there's going to be bad days. Like, it's fine. But yeah, so I guess my question is, I guess I'll be a little bit more personal. I am someone who does a million different things. I intern, I write for my school newspaper, I do all this stuff, and it's real. And like you said, like, you have to find that 1 to 2 minutes of calm. And I know that maybe for some people, I overthink sometimes. So even when I think I have 1 or 2 minutes, I don't, or like I assume that I don't. But like, can you like kind of like, I guess, elaborate on like maybe how someone like me who, tries to set aside that time but can't actually like get to that point, what do you think someone like me should do?
Okay, 2 things. So first of all, do you have a tree when you walk outside from between your house and your car?
I do actually, outside my apartment. Yeah, I have a tree.
Okay. When you walk outside, when you're going somewhere outside or you're walking to your car, I want you to put your hand on the tree, and I want you for 1 minute to look at the shapes that the bark makes, or really look at the leaf and look at the lines in the leaf and how the tree is fed, and think about that for 2 seconds. So that's the first one. That's just being really present. So that's breaking up all the wheels spinning in your head. But the other one really too is there's a couple of different apps out there that you can download, and they're free. And one is called calm.com. I really like one called Abide Meditation, but there's Insight Timer is a really good one too. And they have meditations everywhere from 1 minute to like sleep meditations. And oh God, we didn't even talk about this. When I was first starting my fund, I would wake up in the middle of the night all the time in a cold sweat, thinking I have taken this huge risk. Did I know what I was doing? And I could never get back to sleep. But now that I found these sleep apps, these meditation apps, I turn those on and I'm out in 15 minutes. So definitely the mindfulness of touching the tree and really looking at something in nature, and do it for a full minute. In a minute, you've got a minute. And then the apps too are just so helpful. They really started me, so I can kind of do it on my own now.
Thank you.
Yeah, so important.
That's so helpful. Our next question comes from Abnerline Massonet, who is a high school senior from Stamford, Connecticut.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi,
thank you for
how are
being
you?
here. I'm great. Thank you for asking.
So great to meet you.
So great to meet you. Oh my gosh, you're so friendly. I guess my question to you is, as a 17-year-old, I kind of find it hard to find ways to invest my money, I would say, in savings. So I was guessing, like, what kind of advice do you have for, a girl like me who's starting to save and invest her money?
Absolutely. So I think you can open a Schwab account with as little as $50. So if you're building up and you put a little bit aside and you get to $50, I think you can do it online, and you're 17. So I think you might have to have a parent or a guardian sign up, but it's schwab.com, schwab.com. And, one of the really nice things that they have done lately, which I think is awesome, a lot of these technology stocks that have gone up in value have gotten to be, the prices have been so high. So a lot of them are like $500 or $1,200 for one share. Well, Schwab has said, the heck with that, we're going to cut these up into pieces. So now you can actually buy a piece, what they call fractional shares, but you buy one little piece of the share for $5. And it's just a good practice for a lot of reasons. First of all, this is the best way. I mean, you need to make your money work for you. I think this is a big mistake that a lot of women make. And I wished I'd known it was 20, because if you go back and look at all the research, if people start investing when they're 20, I mean, you'll have a couple $1,000,000 easy by the time you're ready to retire. And you know what, ladies, I hate to tell you, but you're going to need it. You want to have that safety net in case your time is spent with someone who might be abusive, whether it's a coworker or whether it's a partner in life. You want that safety net of being able to get out. And then also too, I'm not so sure we're going to be able to rely on the US government to take care of us when we're in our 70s and our 80s. So this is a super simple way to do it. Open that Schwab account with your parent or guardian, or by yourself if you can. Start with as little as $50 and maybe make a commitment, at least to yourself. You guys are so young now. Even if you put $5 or $10 away a year, it's a start, because, well, it gets very complicated, but there's the law of compounding, which really, really helps you. And the other thing I would say is to choose between, if you're starting out, choose one or two stocks. Like, I really like Apple, I really like Google. I would stay in the tech sector because you guys are so young. But then really stick with 10 solid stocks and never sell them. Never, ever, ever until you need them. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was great advice. Next, we have a question from Linda Peterson. And Linda, you can unmute yourself, and if you can start by introducing yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Linda Peterson. I go to Wilton High School and I'm a junior.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. You're literally like so amazing. And I just was like listening to you talk and I was like, oh my God. So when you were talking about like taking time for yourself, like I am someone who does try to do that, but I'm also like a very, I'm an empath and I kind of like take on other people's emotions.
Oof,
like
me too.
Even when I'm trying to take time for myself, I feel like I'm focused on someone else. So like, how can I sort of focus on myself while I'm taking time for myself?
Yeah, a lot of women are like that. And I definitely feel like I am that. And let me tell you that your greatest weakness is your greatest strength. So somewhere in that empathy is part of your magic. It's part of your key. It's part of your purpose. So you have to figure out how to use it, but you also have to figure out how to manage it, because, we all get dirty with all this negative energy all during the day. And I guarantee you that during the day, you're going to run into somebody that doesn't really understand you, or is kind of a jerk, or brings a lot of negative energy. And so I try to use yoga. And then also too, I mean, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but coming back to that meditation, if you can do it anywhere from 2 minutes to, I try to do it 15 minutes in the morning. It's the first thing I do. I make my coffee and then I sit down and I meditate for 15 minutes. And then sometimes at night, I mean, sometimes I'm chatting with my husband, but a lot of times at night I'll do a meditation before I sleep. And then, like I said, if I wake up in the middle of the night, I put my earphones in and turn on a sleep meditation. So I really think yoga and sleep are the best to do that. But I know, especially, gosh, you're young, and it's a big challenge you're talking about, trying to sort out those energies and focus on you. And so I just please try to find some quiet, right?
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Tracy, I'm just reflecting that you may be perhaps the most versatile speaker we've ever had. You give advice on everything from financial accounts to yoga and meditation. There's quite a range of topics that we're covering. So this is amazing.
Well, because it's all connected, right? I mean, you know, these things really aren't in a silo. They're things challenges that we use every day. And what I try to get down to too is, what are those super simple things that kind of apply across the board, right? Because you're going to have just as much fear learning to swim as you are fear of going in and interviewing for a job. It's the same thing. So you need to figure out how to tackle that roots and, you know, snip it off.
Right. Thank you. So our next question comes from Kelly Taylor, who is a college sophomore. She's also one of our brilliant equality and inclusion interns.
Oh, fantastic. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, thank you for being here. First off, I want to say your aura is amazing. I loved everything that you mentioned. And actually, you said a lot of things that was actually confirmation for me.
Yeah.
So I wanted to speak about, for me personally, I have fear. I know that's my problem. I can admit it that I fear a lot.
Yeah.
But my place is I'm fear of success. And when I do have that courage to push on and go, I'll go. But then all of a sudden that fear comes back and it's kind of, I'm back in that place again. How do you navigate through that?
Oh yeah, and all these things are going through your head, right? Like, maybe I can't do this, or maybe they think that I won't be good enough, or you know, and that's what we talked about the assumptions that we're putting all these words in other people's mouths. You know, oh, those people are not going to like the dress that I have on tonight. You know what? They don't care. They really don't. Everybody's thinking about themselves. so, you know, we have to try, and I know it's hard because I forget it too, but you just have to try to remember that all those assumptions you're making are probably not true. You know, my mom, bless her soul, told me something, and I didn't really fully grasp it when I was little, but she said, you know what, Tracy, 99% of the stuff you worry about is not going to happen. It's the stuff that you never see coming in a million years, like coronavirus, that's really going to knock you on your feet and make big change in this world. So because most of the stuff that you worry about doesn't happen, you shouldn't, why worry? Is that helpful?
It is, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, great. And our final question will come from Olivia West, who is a high school senior.
Hi, Olivia, great to meet you.
Hi. First of all, I just want to say thank you for coming and speaking with us. You are truly amazing, and I love your positive energy, and everything you say is incredible. My question is, what do you think are the most important experiences that young women should seek out to succeed in any field, but specifically male-dominated fields?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? If you feel interested in something, if you definitely try it on. I mean, like when I said I tried the law, and I tried painting, and I tried singing, all those things I wanted to try out. So, I mean, I was sort of, not joking about that stuff, but it wasn't what my true purpose was, because I just was going to go practice law because my parents told me to go to law school. My mother, believe it or not, okay, this was not good advice. She said, honey, get a law degree, because in case your husband ends up not being able to support you someday, you need something to fall back on. Okay, that is not your purpose. That's a defensive play, and I want you guys to have the strength to be on offense for what you feel really moves you. So to the extent that you have an interest in something like, computer coding is very important to learn. I want you guys to be aware of, though. So first of all, every company going forward is a tech company, number one. But the coding itself, I feel it's important to learn, but it's a little bit like training to be a secretary 20 years ago, learning to type. Because that stuff, we're having more and more artificial intelligence, so you need to understand the principles of it, but really simply being a coder is not where I want you to sort of put your hats and heads and say, okay, I'm going to just be a coder and everything's going to be fine. Because you also have to be sensitive to what artificial intelligence cannot replicate is the stuff that's easy for humans. It's more difficult for computers. And what's easy for humans are very complicated movements and very complicated creative thought. So you have to maintain that discipline in yourself and be open to, even if you're pursuing something like coding, I want you to be open to and pursuing what you as a woman and what you on the inside are going to be bringing to that. And I see a lot of really, really great technology developed by men that they cannot sell, and then they cannot market, and then nobody really wants to use because they haven't thought about back to the young woman who said she was very empathetic. You would be fabulous at doing UX UI design, because that's user experience, user interface, because you would be sensitive to how people want to use software and what is intuitive to them. So that is a really good skill set that you have. So, finance is still typically dominated by men. And obviously you do have to take some math classes. I was not a finance major. I was a political science major. I did not go to business school. I should have. That's another whole nother story. But I went to law school, and I still ended up in finance because the pull was there, right? My inner voice, the me inside was saying, Tracy, you're not a lawyer. You're terrible at this, but you really love business and you really love finance. And so I picked up some of the skill sets that I needed in that space, and I kept pushing through, even though people kept trying to move me over. No matter where I started, they all said, well, we might have something in the legal department. And I had to keep standing up for myself and saying, that's not really what I'm interested in. So does that help?
Yeah, thank you so much. That's awesome advice.
Yeah.
So thank you, Tracy, you are a phenomenal woman, incredible. Thank you for inspiring.
You're a phenomenal woman. And I want to say thank you too to Molly for being such an amazing intern this summer. And I think, Molly, did I see you have your mom back in there too?
Hi, Trace. How are you?
Good, thanks. So I just want to say thank you for creating such an amazing daughter. She is just fantastic, and she was just so helpful to me and always had such a wonderful attitude. So you did good, Mom.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Tracy, truly.
So thank you, Tracy. Thank you for supporting LiveGirl. Thank you for supporting the She Works program. We hope that we can send you 5 interns next summer. But Molly's incredible. And thank you, Molly, for that great introduction. But thank you, Tracy, for all that you've done to support LiveGirl.
Sherry, you could do anything in the world, and your purpose has led you to do this. So I thank you for that. It's fantastic, and you're the best I've ever seen.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
good. You're darling.
Thank you. Thank you. You are a warrior for women.
Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.